Hi everyone, it's Tammy. I'm hoping that you guys can hear me, and I hope that this finds all of you well, and good morning. I know it is Friday and I know it's early. It's 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and I don't normally... Hey Janie, can you see me okay? Does it look blurry or anything to you? Because when I look at it in my Google Hangouts where it is videoing, it looks fine. But when I have my chat on, it looks kind of crummy. So I'm thinking that it's just my reception from viewing it and sending it. Hi, Anne. Yay. So this is my yarn vlog, and I'm going to try to do this weekly. And I actually even have a little agenda going on. I wrote some things down so that I could remember to tell you guys. Tried to be a little more professional, and look at me go. So I wanted to just introduce myself for some of you that might not know me or might not watch every video as intensely as you. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that, Janie. Thank you. And so I have all these things going on in my head. My name is Tammy. I go by TT.Scraps. I am, let's see, I like to craft in all sorts of ways. I do scrapbooking. I do, well, not really scrapbooking anymore, but that's where I started, which is why my name is TT.Scraps. I also do planner videos. I do lots of videos about just vlog and everyday life, and lots of card making videos. I have delved in Stampin' Up, and I recently stopped my, not consultant, what is that called? I was demonstrator. I am no longer a demonstrator for Stampin' Up, but I still love Stampin' Up, and I love all things crafty, paper crafts, yarn crafts. I just recently started doing fiber arts, and I guess that's not necessarily true. I've kind of done stuff for a while, but I just recently learned how to knit, and YouTube taught me. So I was very grateful for that. And one of the things that I like to do, especially with, hi Jess, especially with, and hi Patty, my goodness, this is fun. Especially with having been taught through YouTube, I like to pay it forward. Hi Gina, as much as I can, because I know that I learned a lot from just watching people, and hopefully, you know, some of you will like my style, like my learning, my teaching abilities, which, you know, I'm not a teacher, but I enjoy showing people what I know. And so my philosophy is watch one, do one, teach one. So sometimes you don't always get the latest and greatest way to do something, but if I've learned how to do it a certain way, maybe it'll help someone else learn in a particular way as well. So I'm not usually off on during the day. I do have a full-time day job, and I work in IT, but and I say that kind of with, I mean, I don't like, I'm not a big computer nerd where I can go in and fix computers and such. I wish that I was, but I am not. But I work for a hospital network, and I'm over the radiology, imaging, and cardiovascular programs that we have. So that's my day job. And then my night job is I love to play in my craft room and just do anything that makes me feel good. Thanks, Jess. Jess is actually in Australia, so she's showing up as Forensic Jess on the chats, and I have some news about her too later in the podcast that I will discuss. So, like I said, I'm trying to be a little bit more professional in this podcast for no particular reason, only than I like it, and I really do like to be organized. I'm just not always there. So I think I'm going to try to make these yarn podcasts a little bit more organized and try to make it so that I have some sort of agenda and you guys will know what to expect. And just so you also know, if you guys are, I'm good. I have the chat up on my screen. So if I'm looking over here, I'm reading the chat. I won't always be able to stick up with it or catch up with it or stay up with it. But if you guys need to see what's on the chat, YouTube now started, you can watch a live video after it's live. So after it's gone live and is no longer live, you can still watch it and you can finally see the chat. So it doesn't seem like we are talking to other people and not to you if you aren't catching this live, which, you know, I totally understand that. So please, if you are watching it not live and you want to see the chat, just be sure you look in the description somewhere and it should tell you so you can see it. Or double viewing, yes. That's cute. So yeah, if you're not a knitter, I hopefully will be a little bit entertaining just to watch too. So, and I hope that you find something useful. I don't know. So that is what that's me in a nutshell. I'm also a mom. I am a mom I have 2 children of my own and 4 stepchildren, one of which had a birthday yesterday. She doesn't watch the podcast, but her name is also Katie. So Katie, and my husband Dennis has a daughter named Katie. His oldest daughter is 24 as of yesterday. And we went out for Indian food and I brought some back for lunch today. So I am having tikka masala for lunch today. It was really, really good, but I didn't eat it on the rice. Hi, Priscilla. Oh my goodness, it's been a while since we've talked. I actually have a card that I tried to send to you. I don't even know where it is right now. I just saw it the other day, so I know that I still have it. Sorry, I'm not talking to the camera. But Priscilla, I have a card that I tried to send to you and it came back. So I don't know if you moved or something, but it's been probably since Christmas. So it's been a little while. So email me your address if you can. And my email should hopefully be below, but it's TTScraps@sbcglobal.net. So I don't know how that works with live videos, if you can see it now or you can see it later. But also I do know that when I tried to go watch or read the chat immediately after the video ended, it wasn't there. But if I waited a little bit, it showed up. So just if you're watching this immediately after I've gone live, you might want to wait just a little bit longer if you want to view the chats, because not all of that will show up. I'm also going to have in the down bar, the description box, I'm going to have my Raverly, I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. Ravelry, I don't know. And I'll get to that. Ravelry. I'm looking at my tab, Ravelry. So I'll have that, and my username for that is TT.Scraps, but I'll have a link to that, and I'll also have a link to Ebates, and I'll also have links to some of the items that I talk about. So it's not there yet, but it will be as soon as I can post it. Just all of that. So, and years knitting. Well, it hasn't even been a year yet. I went to Chicago last December, early December, and that's when I learned how. And I started out with the loom knitting, which was a ton of fun. And I don't do that really anymore, but I am trying to. So I mean, I'm not trying to, that's not true. I'm not like discounting it. I really like to use I still lovingly call them sticks most of the time, but knitting needles. And I have started, and I mean just barely started, learning how to crochet a couple of stitches. So I want to crochet. I want to learn to crochet because some of that is beautiful too. I just don't know how to do that yet. So my goal for 2019, and I will get onto that too, I think sometime, I don't know if I wrote, yes, I did. So a goal of mine is to learn to crochet as well. I just haven't gotten there yet. I have so many things that I want to do. It's just insane. And I'm sure that I'm not the only one who feels this way, especially when you learn a new craft and you're just going crazy over all of this stuff and overwhelmed. And it's just, I have so many things I want to do, but not enough arms and certainly not enough time. But I probably do have enough yarn because I have gone a little bit crazy with my yarn. So one thing that I have been doing is organizing my yarn. So we have a 2-story house, and my second story, we have something called a bonus room that we've always called the playroom. And there's been, well, there still is like a popcorn machine in there. There's been like, we made it a video, like movie room one time. We have made it just different themes. As the kids were younger, it would be different things. So it started out as definitely a playroom where we just let them keep their toys up there and all of that. And oh, Gina says that she'll teach me how to crochet. Aw, that sounds so cool, Gina. I would love to learn, and I would be happy to help you learn to knit. Yay. My mom used to crochet, and I never learned from her, and she passed away, so it's too late for me to learn from her now. So that's actually what I wanted to do when I first started picking up some sort of yarn to to do something with, I thought, ooh, I'm going to crochet. But then I saw the loom knitting and that looked even easier. So that's where I started. And then the loom or the knitting bug just hit me and I love it. And I do have some tea here in my IU Mom mug. So I didn't even finish with my kids. I have a junior in college who she just started back. She goes to Taylor University. It is a small Christian college in mid, I don't know, probably a little, it's north, but it's not way up north. It's the top quarter of the state of Indiana. And then I have my son who is a freshman at Bloomington University, which is where I went, which is the whole IU thing. Bloomington University. Why did I call it that? Indiana University in Bloomington. And he is a freshman. So I am recently a empty nester and I have been filling my time with yarn for sure. Craziness. And I am drinking tea right now. This is Puka Wild Apple and Cinnamon with Ginger tea. And it is quite good. I actually got this from someone that I ordered something from on Etsy. It seems like a thing when you order stuff from Etsy. If you order knitting stuff, it seems like a lot of knitters provide a tea bag in your purchase. And how wonderful is that? I love tea, so that makes my day. And I'll probably be sipping on that before it gets too cold as we talk. So it's still rather warm, but you know. Anyway, so my upstairs room, I am working on organizing it, and I bought this thing from Overstock, and I'm not sure that I would recommend it, but maybe I will put it on here. I'll try to remember to put a link for that it's 5x5 and it has little cubbies and it's made of wood, but it's very inexpensive and kind of cheaply made. But you get what you pay for sometimes. And I just wanted something so that I could still see my yarn, but it would be put up and not in boxes, which is how I've had it, in boxes and totes, which is just awful because you can't see what you have. And it was driving me crazy. So I bought this 5x5 shelving thing, and I will try to take pictures, and I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to insert pictures in here yet. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just have to try to do that and have some pictures on an upcoming video or something like that. But anyway, it is just unstained. It's just whatever that's called, naked wood. And it's like really thin wood. I don't even know if it's wood. It's probably some fake or particle boardy kind of wood because it was very inexpensive. But anyway, I have that up there, and it is full already with yarn, and it is over full because I still have lots of boxes. And I did buy these things from Michael's that have their drawers, and it has like 3 larger size drawers that are fairly deep that you can keep yarn or whatever in. So I do have those, and I've been trying to decide what to put what. So I'm still in the middle of organizing, and then I've purchased a ton of kits from Craftsy, and you guys, oh, I could put some pictures on Instagram. Oh, thank you. I will do that. And I'll try to remember to also link that too. I'm taking notes. That's what I'm doing. Because I want this to, you guys can't see that. Oh, there. I'm taking notes, and this is all of my notes for the podcast. Okay, good. Okay, I will put them on Instagram. But anyway, they are, I have tons of kits that I've purchased from Craftsy. I also need to link that below too, because that website is awesome. And if you use my Ebates thing, which I'm getting to, but I have so many things. I mean, and my friends, I have a couple of friends that wanted me to wait to go live because they could catch me if I waited to go live, which I totally get. But I wanted to do this yesterday, and I just didn't have the time yesterday with work. And then it was my stepdaughter's birthday, so we took her out to dinner, and I just didn't have time to do it. But I have so many things in my head. I want to get them out because I'm afraid if I don't, I'll forget to tell you guys something. And all of this is really cool, and I want to share because I love it. So, so yeah, I have been shopping like it's my job, and I'm working on a raise. I will just say that because it is crazy the amount of shopping that I have done. I have been buying yarn. Michael's had a sale yesterday, and they still have a sale today. If you go to their website, if you're in the US anyway. I think today it's 30% off any online or in-store purchases. Yesterday it was 40% off of online purchases. So of course I've had to buy some more yarn. I don't need any more yarn, but I am so excited about yarn. I cannot help it. I have been buying it, like I said, like it's my job, and I really am deserving of a raise. I am loving it. So I have been ordering craftsy kits. I found some plaid yarn, guys. I was watching YouTube and there's a new yarn that's plaid yarn, and I have not seen it yet. Thanks, Jess. Oh, the hanging cubes work great with closets for yarn. I don't have a closet though, Gina. That's my problem. I did see those, and those are inexpensive, and those looked good. She's talking about the little things that you hang up on the closet rod. I've even thought about like somehow getting a closet rod and hanging that up in the room so I could hang those, but I haven't gone there yet. I don't want it to look totally ridiculous. And without a closet, it might look ridiculous because it's just an open room and it has windows. It's like when you walk up my stairs, it will face the street. So it faces the same way this room kind of faces, but I have my back toward the window, obviously. And so my yarn is in that room. It would be along this wall over here. I used to make t-shirts. I mean, I'm not kidding. I craft. So I used to make t-shirts, and I have this huge heat press, and I love that still. I mean, I will still do that. I just don't do it so much anymore. When my daughter was in cheerleading and then dance, and then my son was in football and every other sport, I used to make all the team stuff and all of that, and bows for their hair, and oh my goodness, it was fun. But I've certainly gotten my money worth. But I think that thing was like $500 or something crazy, but I have gotten my money's worth, and I'm not going to just get rid of it. Even though I don't use it as much, I still hope to use it. I can make some yarn t-shirts. I'm going to write that down. I might have to do that. Yarn t-shirts, but that's going to be a little bit, because first I have cast on itis, where I have so many things that I want to get on the needles and actually get done, but it's so fun. So one of the things that I've been working with Jess, because Jess, Forensic Jess on here, you guys can see her, she told me about this mood blanket that I think you said your family did. Your mom made a mood blanket. And so that, of course, intrigued me. I'm like, mood blanket, what's that? And you pick out colors for each different, for a year. You crochet or knit a certain amount of, like a set amount. You have to plan all of this out. And thank God that Jess is so mathematically inclined that she can help me with some of the math. It is hard because she's in Australia and I'm here in the States. So she does everything with centimeters, although she's good at changing. I, on the other hand, I'm not. I'm like 120 centimeters. How big is that? So I'm kind of going weird over on this side, but she's helping me a lot. So I pretty much am just saying I'm going to do whatever you do. But okay, so this mood blanket is, you keep track of your mood, and there is an app that she taught me and showed me, and it is called, I'm getting it so that you guys can see it, Year in Pixels. And this is what it looks like on the Apple. This is my Apple phone. So you can like click on the day, and I'm just going to click on one so you guys can see, and you can customize these however you want. And we're only doing 4 different moods, and this obviously has 5, so I'm just not using one of them. But you can keep track of how you're feeling each day, and then you knit a blanket according to that. So you want to pick colors that you like, even if it's a bad, crummy day and you don't like, I don't know, let's say you don't like purple, which who doesn't? But let's say you don't like purple. You wouldn't necessarily want to put purple as the bad day color, because you want to still like your blanket in the end. So you have to pick colors that you like and colors that will go together. So she says she's going to start talking in inches. So yeah, it's really kind of cool, and it's kind of neat anyway. And I used to try to keep track of my mood in my bullet journal, and I would do all right for a little while, and then I just wouldn't do it. But this app will send you an alarm. So the app is called Year in Pixels, and I will try to put that below too. Year in Pixels. I don't know if I'll have a link, but I'll just put app or whatever. Yeah, Year in Pixel. And it is, I have an Apple phone, she has an Android, and we both have the app, so you can use it for either. And it is fabulous because it will send you an alarm. So at 8 o'clock every night, I get an alarm saying, hey, remember to put your mood in. And that way I won't necessarily forget, and you can set your mood to whatever it is that you're feeling. And then that way, if you miss a day knitting or 10 days knitting, you can go back and knit to catch up. So Jess and I are going to do our idea. I just am along for the ride because it was a fabulous idea. Now, I'm going to tell on Jess a little bit because I think she is amazing. We had been friends for quite a while. I don't even know what made, I mean, we found each other via YouTube. I don't know what made her start watching me. Jess, why did you start watching me? Because are you a planner? I don't really think you are. I don't know. But anyway, I've done videos featuring her before. We've sent each other like care packages. She's the one who sent the Vegemite, and I know I did a video of us trying that. Very weird, by the way, but not as bad as I expected it to be, but it tasted like bouillon to me. And Jess is saying that the Android looks a little bit different, but it's the same concept, and it will do the same thing. But anyway, Jess is awesome, and she hasn't knitted for years and years and years. She is so ambitious and just amazing. She decided that she's going to do a mood blanket, and she was telling me about it, and I decided I'm going to do a mood blanket. Now, I have been knitting for a little bit, and I have been working hard at my knitting skills. She hasn't picked up needles in 20 years. So this is awesome. She is amazing, and I am excited for us to do this together. So if any of you guys want to do it, you are more than welcome to join us. That's called a knit along, and they call it a KAL, K-A-L. So I'm not like hosting it or anything, but if you guys want to do it, I could maybe put a group in I can always say that wrong. Ravelry. I have to look at how it's spelled to pronounce it correctly, but I can make a group there if you want me to, if this sounds like something that you'd want to do. Because you're fun. And she was a planner until her university got crazy. Yes, she is a PhD student. She is very smart. And she said, go hard or go home. Amen, sister. So she's awesome. And I am really excited to do this. So I picked some colors. My colors are, I wrote them down. I did light pink for when it's like a really exciting, hypery, fun kind of, I don't know, got great news or something kind of a day. So I'm doing a light pink for that. And then I picked 2 colors for happy days because those are my most common days, which is great, I know, and that's a good thing for me. And yeah, I guess I don't need to apologize for that, but I know it's hard when people are happy and upbeat and other people aren't. So, but that's my normal personality, is I'm just kind of happy go lucky. And so I'm doing and these are all pastel kind of colors. So I'm doing like a blush pink and a green color for my happy colors. And then I'm doing purple for my neutral days that are just kind of days, no, not really anything great or not bad, just a day. And then I'm going to do blue, which I also love. So I didn't pick a color I don't like, as my bad day. And I'm also putting in there stressed or anxious, because those are my problems, or depressed. Those get to be my issues. So I wanted those days to be still a color that I liked, of course. And I don't have enough, like, I don't know, usually even in a bad day, I can find something that's happy, and then I get all confused and I go, do I want to put this as a bad day or an okay day? Because maybe a piece of it was bad. But so that's why I kind of lumped all of that together, where it's a kind of a bad day or stress day or anxious day. That way, if I'm feeling that way throughout the day, I can make that day if that's what I want to do. So, I mean, it's all subjective. It's your blanket. Do what you want. But we are going to be doing, I didn't even show you the blanket, and I have it. I put it on here just so I'd have it. And it's on Ravelry, and it is a free blanket pattern, and it's called the August Baby Blanket. And this is what it looks like. So it will be knitted in the chevron pattern, and it just looks really, oh, yes. Gina, you just pointed out CAL. That's a crochet along. Yes, yes. Okay. And I'm sorry, I'm reading and not talking. But she says, I would join in as a CAL, a crochet along, if you're open to it. Absolutely. Starting in September would be great. Birthday to birthday. Happy birthday, Gina. And it says, that would be cool and great to show in a podcast progress. So that's my plan. So I ordered, and Jess ordered yarn too. Jess already got her yarn. She got it in the mail yesterday. I haven't gotten mine. Hopefully it will be coming today or tomorrow. And then I'm just going to start with September and I'm going to catch up. But this is how we're going to do it. And I'm not sure, and I will post this link below too. And if I forget to post anything and you guys are interested in it, just comment on the live video and I will be happy to add it. I'm really trying to be as professional with this as I can and give you guys all the details, because I know that's what I look for. I'm watching a podcast and I enjoy hearing about all the great things, but if I don't know where to go, it's kind of a bummer. So I don't mean to do that. So let me know. Yeah, and Jess says that she's doing 4 colors that I can't read, that match her house decor: white for an exciting day, yellow for a happy day, gray for content, and black for a bad day. So her blanket's going to be awesome too. So mine doesn't, she did it to match her bedroom and all of her decor. I, on the other hand, just picked colors I liked and thought I'll have a blanket that I like. So it doesn't match anything in my house necessarily, but you know, hey, I love these colors and it's going to make a kick-ass blanket. So I also, though, ordered enough colors to do a blanket similar to this too, just to kind of do it, but it's going to be much, much smaller. The blanket that Jess and I are doing is going to be for a queen size bed because we both happen to have queen size beds. So I'm not sure that I want mine to be quite that big yet. I haven't quite figured that out. I need to figure that out once I get my yarn and start going, but I don't want it to be a small blanket. I want it to be substantial. And I'm thinking I want it right now. That's my plan, is to make it 10 centimeters. I think that we said 80 by 120 is the size of my queen bed, and that's in centimeters. And maybe I'll try to put this stuff down there too. And so instead of 80 by 120, I'm going to do, I think I said 100 by 150 or something like that. I don't remember. I have it written down and Jess is going to help me with the math. And then I can include that too. Maybe like, this is the size that we're doing and this is how many rows we're going to stitch. We've even thought, and I think that Jess is going to do this, she's separating it into 3 sections. So it'll be more like 3 really long baby blankets, like in width. So it won't be so overwhelming. I don't know. We're still debating, and I'm trying to figure out in my head whether or not I like that idea of having it like, because it could potentially be 3 different colors if you did it that way, or we could do it where it's like you just do the whole row, but it'll be thinner. So the rows this way won't be as thick as they are in this. So that's what you give up, making it so big. And just, I mean, we're doing it for 365 days. So, yeah, Jess says that she is too. She said, you guys can definitely join in crochet, and she'd like to see how different they are. Yeah, I would love it too. And Jess hasn't decided how she's going to do hers yet. She's going to play to make sure she remembers how to knit first. She's so funny. I just love that. So, and she's awesome. She's awesome. I love you, Jess. I love all of you guys. I have so much fun. That's why I want to share all of this, because you guys are great. It's so much fun to have people that you don't necessarily even know, but you know, it's great. This is like, it warms my heart. So thank you guys. So this is the blanket that we are going to do, and we're calling it a mood blanket. And I'm super excited about that, if you can't tell. So that is something that's going on. And then I want to go through my FOs, which are FOs, or finished objects, from the last podcast to this one. And then I'll go through my whips, which is works in progress that I'm working on. And yeah, and then the KAL. So I already did the KAL, and then I have another KAL to tell you guys about too, but I'll do that in a minute. So look at this. I have a Christmas stocking for my son. This one, and I didn't do a very good job. I did talk about it, but I didn't do a very good job of showing it. But I did take some pictures, and I will probably share those sometime. But I had to totally frog it the first time, because I did a stocking for my husband, and I used the Craftsy kit. And so I got this on Craftsy, and it came with the yarn and it came with the instructions, and this is how it turned out. Now, the toe is kind of funny to me. I don't really like how it doesn't look like it's complete. And this thing was a bear. It's, I mean, and it's huge. So it's crazy. So I didn't like the heel. I didn't like having how this turned out exactly. So I watched a million videos and tried to decide how else I could do this. And this is a really big Christmas stocking. I mean, like, if I put 4 of these on our fireplace, you wouldn't be able to, I mean, it would go down to the fire, where the fire was. I mean, it's huge. I can't even tell you how big it is, but it's huge. So I didn't, and I wanted to make stockings for all of us. And sorry, it's the hair and the fuzz and all of that's getting on my nose. This could be a knitting sign, a fiber art sign. But anyway, I like this, but it wasn't exactly what I had in my head when I was picturing it. So look at the difference. Dennis that I would redo his, and he said, oh no. And he just doesn't want me to redo it because he wants Santa to fill this stocking. That's his deal. But I'm probably going to end up redoing it because I like this a lot better. And it's knit. So, I mean, it will stretch. I mean, you can put a lot of things in a knit stocking. So I did Alex's in red and white. So this is a finished object. And if you want to know the truth, I actually finished it twice because the first time I finished it, I didn't like the toe then either, but I liked the heel. And I think that I've found a good heel pattern, which was great. And I kind of did this whole thing in kind of my own pattern. So it was kind of my first pattern too, which I may or may not share on Ravelry. I don't know. I have so many things that I need to put in Ravelry. I mean, Ravelry will keep track of your stash, your works in progress, queued, like things that you want to work on. And I haven't had the office time to go and put all of that stuff in. So I haven't done that yet. And I just got to notice that an Amazon package is going to be arriving today. Yay me. Like I said, shopping like it's my job. But anyway, I really like this stocking and I'm happy with it. So this is a finished object. So I'm going to just end it with that and then I'll be back. So yeah, the difference in the stockings, look at that. It's crazy. But okay. So I know that the last time I showed you guys this Cats in Hats book that I ordered on Amazon, and I should link this below too. Book. Because it is too funny. And this hat right here, boom, finished project. I do have pictures on Instagram of my cats in these hats. So this is a little elf hat. Look how cute it is. I mean, you just put it on them. And I did crocheted, whatever these are, strings. I crocheted that with a crochet hook and everything. I was all excited. So there's that. Gina, for some reason, it didn't let me. It said that your thing I had to approve it, but I did. Okay, so sorry, I haven't caught up on all of the notes. And now it looks like I am, hopefully you guys can still see me. It looks like I'm buffering. Oh, but that's because I clicked on that dingbat. Let's go back to Hangouts. There I am. Yeah, if I watch this on YouTube, like from my YouTube so I can see your comments, it looks awful. But if I'm looking at it on my screen, it looks like I'm doing just a regular video. And I get my hair colored again. And by get my hair colored, I mean color it myself. But actually this time I am going to Dennis's aunt to do it. She's going to do some highlights, and I think I'm going to go a little red because I'm feeling a little sassy this fall. So that's my plan. And I don't know when she's going to do it. She told me to tell her when I was ready, and I told her. So she's supposed to get the stuff. She is a beautician. So hopefully it'll be soon, maybe this weekend. But anyway, so I did this hat for my cat. And then I also did this hat, and I'm just using yarn that I had. Kind of looks like I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. And it's the only reason I know that is because I had an ex that liked Green Bay Packers, because I am not a sports fan at all. But the Packers were kind of cool. They're like the only NFL team that's owned by the fans. Like you each get part owner of Lambeau Field or something like that. I don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but he told me about it and it sounded kind of cool. And they are green and yellow, which is kind of pretty. I like it together. So here we go. I also had to braid this, and then you braided it on down. So it reminds me of one of those Viking kind of hats, but it's kind of cool. So in a little pom-pom, oh my gosh. So this was so cute. So look on Instagram, and my handle there is TT.Scraps, or it might be TT.Scraps, but you'll find me. And you can see pictures of my cats in those. So my cats were in these, and not to be left out, because, you know, Taz was feeling very left out. He was sad that he didn't have a hat. No, he really wasn't. But he got a mohawk hat. Oh my gosh. And it's still tied because he took it off of himself. How much that he decided that he wanted to save it for special occasions, apparently. But it's a little mohawk, and it is too funny. And it was also a picture of him with it on Instagram. And I had to come up with the sizing for this for myself too. So it's kind of funny. When you start learning and getting into it, it's really neat how you can develop some skills that you had no idea that you could do. So I like kind of made up this as I went along so that it would fit, you know, from a cat size to a dog pit bull size, and then also the stocking size thing. So I was kind of proud of myself. And it's not because I'm like super smart or anything, although, you know, no, I'm teasing. It's not because I'm super smart or anything. It's because you just kind of, when you're doing it, you start feeling it, and you can do it too. If you're so inclined. I mean, if you don't want to, then don't do it. That's the other thing. But I apparently love me some yarn. So those are all finished. Those checks I think I have for this week, but I do have some whips. So I am working on a stocking for Katie. She picked her colors, and she wanted light pink and like a cream color. So it kind of looks like a little baby girl stocking, which is kind of funny because she is my baby girl. Sorry, the lighting is crazy. If I covered that up, you could probably see this a little better. But it's just light pink and white. So, and I'm doing this stocking from the top up or top down. I think that's what they call it. Toe up or top down. I think that's how they say it. Now, you can see that I've kind of, I don't want to say messed up, but when you switch colors, it kind of gives you a little level. So like there's a level jump from here, this pink one, and then it goes down there because it's a different row jump. So I know that there is a way to fix that, and I just learned that. So let's see if I can get better at that. So I mean, it's just like you just learn different things as you go along. And every time I look at things that I've done, I can see a million mistakes that I've made. Most of the time, I don't really care that much. Like I see that there's like a bigger hole here than there should be. This thick, chunky yarn, so you have holes anyway. But this one is bigger than most. So, I mean, I can go back and repair some of that, you know, after you've done it. So I'm not sweating things like that. I don't sweat the small things like that just because it's really not that big of a deal. Now, if I messed up something, I would totally go back and do it. Like that toe of the first time I made Alex's stocking, it literally looked like it ended like here, and it looked more like a cocoon than it did a stocking. So I had to undo all of it and then start again, which, and also because when I did it, when I started it the first time, I started it and it was like this wide and had no toe. It was awful in my opinion. If I had just been this one and I had messed up the toe, I could have just gone back to where I wanted to redo the toe and then gone again. But it was like this wide and it was just horrible in my head. So I just redid it and I'm way happier with it. So, and I wrote it down as I did it, which is very important. And that's where I got the pattern to do Katie's. So that's what I'm doing. I still have the leftovers from Alex's in here. Here's the red and the white. And mine is going to be red and green. So I'll do mine last. But I'm only doing those 4 because we're the only ones that, I mean, we're the only ones that really live here. Even though Dennis has other kids, they live other places. 2 of them live with their mom. He has, well, I don't know why I'm telling you guys this. It doesn't matter. But he has 2 with his ex-wife who are older and they are on their own. And then he has 2 from his ex. He never married her, but those 2 are younger and they live with her. So there's only 2 that live with me, and those are my kids. And those are the only 4 stockings then that we will hang. Whew, long story for something silly. Well, thank you, Jess. Jess says that she's impressed that I redid it so quickly. One thing I can say is that chunky yarn, it knits up and probably crochets up lickety split. It really is fast. So there's that one. Here is kind of a frog project. I am from Craftsy. I ordered, my daughter wants some slippers. And I found these on Craftsy. And I thought, well, those are really cute. I can work on some slippers. And then she said she didn't want these slippers. She wants like a basic slipper with a kind of a cabled top. So I thought, well, Mama would like these slippers. I will make these slippers and try to learn how to make them first, and then I'll have some clue, and then I can make hers, and hers will be better because my first one is always not the best. So I thought, okay, well, I'll go for this. And I'm trying to follow the pattern, and some patterns are harder to follow than others. And the first thing I had to do was make like the sole. So I did that. This is with double yarn, all that. I did that. I have the sole for the thing. And then I had to try to do the stocking part, and I can't follow this pattern. I have no idea what this means. I mean, let me tell you what it says, because if any of you guys know or know where I can find some help, I Googled it. It says, I think this is where I got confused. Purl 2 together, then do a yarn over, and then slip 1 with the yarn in the back, and then place a stitch marker, and then you will purl 2 together, yarn over, slip 1 with the yarn in the back 3 times, and then drop old single marker off the needle. And this probably doesn't make any sense unless you were with me. So I don't know. Anyway, I won't go through it all because I don't even remember where it was that I messed up, because it's been a little bit since I picked this up. I mean, it's been this week, because these are all projects that I've been working on since the last podcast. But honestly, I think what I'm going to do is frog all of this back, just undo it all, and then restart with something different, because I like this yarn. I think it's really pretty. I like how it's all different colors like that. But I'm not digging this pattern because I don't get it. And instead of getting frustrated and trying to figure out something that I am not enjoying, I'd rather enjoy it and just do something else. So that's kind of where I'm at with these. These may or may not get picked up this week. I don't know. I have so many things, like I said, that I want to do. I mean, I do want to do slippers, and I want to get slippers done for Katie for Christmas or before, but it's not like I'm going, oh gosh, let me get these slippers on. But I did find some other slippers that I thought that she would like, and I would like probably even better than those. So I think I'm going to try this pattern. And I did save this too. I forgot that I'd even saved it. It's called the Loopy, oh, what's it called? Loopy Booty. That doesn't make any sense. Loopy Cuffed Boot Slipper. Here we go. And this is what they look like. And they're white, so it's hard to see. Oh, there, that might be better. So it has, oh, it has like a fun, it's not cabled, but it's like all loopy here. But then the, crazy Tammy. But then the slipper part looks a lot easier. It's like basic stitching and not all that weird brioche kind of mess that I couldn't figure out. So I'm thinking that these will be what I do for mine. And then if I like that, I can use this slippery part for hers. And then instead of doing the loops up here, I could do cables. So that will work out. Don't let the problems burden you. What is he talking about? I get random texts sometimes, and it is so frustrating because I don't know what these people are talking about, and it drives me crazy. I even had one that said something like, something. it's been a couple weeks ago, but it was something like you have money in the bank. All we need is your information. I'm like, yeah, right. I'm just going to give you all of my account information so you can, if I have money in the bank, I know what I have in the bank. And you don't need to know. So I don't know nonsense stuff, but it's frustrating. And I can understand how people get not hooked, but get messed up because you want to, I mean, our inclination is to trust people, and then, you know, you get a weird text and you might say, who is this? And then they'll reply with something else. And I can see where if I was maybe not as savvy as I am, not that I'm very savvy, but if I was even less savvy, I can see how people get hooked on stuff like that. So there's that. So let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more whips to show you. This one is still the sweater that I have been working on for Katie. This is going to be a Christmas present. I have finished the front, which looks just like this, and this is the back. So it's really pretty. I'm not sure that I'm liking this yarn so much. I don't know that I would pick it again, but it was inexpensive, and it came in a kit, which I really like. And this is called the Hampton, and it's by Lion Brand. And it uses this pound of yarn, or pound of love yarn. So it's a huge skein of yarn. And I actually got 2 because I'm making one for me as well, but I haven't started mine, and I'm not going to start mine yet. But I did put a progress keeper as to where I started, I think it was yesterday, so that I can keep track of how much I've done just for a while. And I might even keep this, maybe I'll move it to here, and then I'll keep a progress creeper to show you how much I've done in the week. I think that's how I'll do it. So that's where I'm at with this. I mean, it still has a ways to go on the back side, but it's really not that big because it's kind of a crop top, and she's not very tall. She's 5'2". So yeah, I'm 5'7.5". So for me, I'd probably want it a little longer, and her figure is way cuter than mine. She doesn't care if things like show her midriff or whatever. And she'll have to wear a tank or something underneath this anyway, because it does have all these little eyelet holes. And those are done by yarn overs, which is kind of cool. Now what my mistakes did and how I did it, I can kind of go, oh, I did a yarn over there and I didn't even mean to. And this one I mean to. So that's kind of cool. So that is a work in progress that I'm working on, and that will be a Christmas present. And that is for my chick. And then I also, in this, my cute chicken bag, I have a hat that I'm working on for Dennis. And this one is super simple. This is just, I did a rib stitch down here. I think I did a 3x3 rib stitch at the bottom. And then I'm just doing just straight knit stitches for the whole top of the hat. And this yarn is really cool. It's like self-changing colors. It is wool. It's Patons Croy socks. And it is 75% wool and 25% nylon. And this was also in a kit from Craftsy, none other. And this is called, well, I don't know what it's called. Basic Beanies. And I'm doing this one. So that's what that looks like. And you can find this on Craftsy, and it comes with the yarn. You get to pick the color. And I thought this was kind of a manly. I wish I had more green on my screen when I was looking at it. It looked like it had some green in it because green is Dennis's favorite color. But oh well, it got more navy than green, and it is a cute hat. This one though is sock yarn, which means it's really, really thin. So it's a ton of stitches. So, but luckily it's just the knit stitch. So I can literally just, I even took it to church on Sunday and just knitted while I was in church, just because it's just a basic knit stitch. I don't have to look at them, which is also new for me, that I don't have to look when I'm doing my knit stitches mostly. I mean, I probably can look and find a few errors, but really in the scheme of things, it's not a big deal. And this is so closely knitted that one error is, I mean, I don't know, it might show up more because it's so closely knitted, but I don't think it would be that difficult to, like, if I accidentally had a little hole in it from a yarn over or something like that, I think that it would be easily mended in this. and probably lost in this too. But the rib stitching makes it nice and open. And I don't know, I'm probably halfway done. So that's not bad. I'll be able to start crowning it soon. So I just keep this in my purse and just take it on the go. I actually have a smaller bag, but I wanted to use my chicken bag, so I should probably put it in one of my smaller bags and it'll be even more portable. And then another craftsy kit is this, and I think I may have showed this last time, but I hadn't started it, I don't think, is this shawl. And it is crazy in the way, I mean, it is all lace. And I'm new enough and ignorant still enough with the whole thing that I think, oh gosh, it's pretty, I'm just going to do it. Kind of like Jess, go big or go home. People don't do this because it's hard to do. And honestly though, knitting is not hard. The hard part is paying attention and being able to follow the patterns. That's the hard part, because the knitting itself isn't that hard. But I got this beautiful like orangish yarn. I don't even know the name of it. I didn't save the thing, but it's like a nice autumn color, which is what makes me want to do it for autumn. Then I have my little tea bag little stitch marker, so cute. And I'm using that as an actual stitch marker. But you can see how I've gotten some pattern in here. So far, so good. I will need to block this when I'm done, and I just recently learned what blocking is, and I will teach that after I've done it so that I can do that. So look for that in a future video. But I don't know that I've gotten it entirely 100% following the pattern, but it's pretty close. So I'm pleased with it, but I have to do this when I have time to pay attention, which usually means I have to be by myself because well, goodness is all right in the room, but sometimes he likes to talk. So it depends on the mood of what's going on, whether or not I can sit there and follow the intricate pattern of, like yarn over, knit 7, knit 3, knit 2 together, knit 2, yarn over, knit 1. I mean, it's that kind of a pattern. So you have to really pay attention to what you're doing to get it right. So that's that one. And I really like it. It's kind of fun to knit, honestly, but it's taking a little bit. And then speaking of taking a little bit, I also am working on some gloves, some mittens. So this is the other KAL that I was telling you about. I found somebody on YouTube named Skeindeer, and it's S-K-E-I-N deer, kind of like reindeer, only Skeindeer. And she is from Norway. She lives in London, but she does all of those really cool Nordic stitch patterns, like with the snowflakes and stuff. She is amazing. And she's young, and she's just, I'm just in awe. She is one of those that's just awe-worthy. I saved her, and you can find her on Ravelry at Skeindeer Knits, and she is doing a KAL. You buy her patterns, and you get 4 patterns. I think it worked out to be about $16 US. And you get all 4 of the patterns, and she sends you the patterns at the beginning of each month, starting with September. So, meaning that by the end of the year, you should have 4 completed pair of mittens. You do 1 each month for 4 months. And the first one is this one. I know, isn't it awesome? So cool. So I casted this on, and I actually had to frog it all back because I screwed it up. With, instead of 40 stitches that you cast on, I ended up with 44 stitches. So I had to go back and just start over again because I couldn't figure out where I messed it up. And I am using yarn that I had on hand. I'm using this Forever Soft Yellow from Yarn Bee. This was a whole $1.24 for this skein. And one thing that's really cool is that these only take like 100 grams. Is that right? 50 ounces of yarn, I think is right. So it just takes a small amount of yarn to make these. So that's pretty cool. The bad thing is that you have to do it twice because you have two hands. That's hard for me because it's hard for me to follow the pattern once and then I have to do it again. Oh, word. But I am starting. I cast it on and I am on row, I think 16 now. And I'm using this yarn that I had in my stash from a dear viewer who sent me a box of yarn from someone that they knew that she'd actually passed away, and she had some yarn and she sent it to me, and it was like a beautiful box of all this wonderful yarn, and this was in it. And I have more than this, but she had one little ball rolled up and it was the perfect color for mitts. So I thought I'm going to use that. So I have this, and then I have more of this yarn. And then I thought that this would be cool with it, and I could do the snowflakes in this and have this as my main color. So it's it'll look very similar to hers, only it'll be reversed. So my snowflake, like the part that's yellow in hers, will be white in mine, and vice versa. And it's not really white, it's yellow, but it looks white. But this is what I've done so far. I mean, I can even kind of see a pattern. I'm getting super excited. And this, I really have to sit down and concentrate, and I'm doing it on my really little needles. So I really have to sit there and concentrate, and I actually even talk out loud because that's kind of how I operate even on a daily basis. I talk to myself. And I just have to talk to the most intelligent person in the room. So I use that line. But I will go through and say like yellow, 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 white, yellow, yellow, white, white, yellow, like I like look at the row and I am looking at a pattern, like an actual printed pattern, and doing it that way. And I'm not going to share the pattern because you do have to pay for it. And this is the way she makes a living. She does patterns and stuff, and she has lots of really cool patterns on Ravelry. But I just think it's awesome. And I am so excited that I can actually see something. Now, she definitely suggests using wool yarn, and she is from Norway, where it gets very, very cold. And it gets cold here, but I think I'll be okay, especially with my first pair, using a combination of yarn. And this was inexpensive, and I thought, you know what, it'll be good practice. And I honestly love it because you probably can't tell on here, but it has some texture and it's like fuzzy. So the little snowflakes will be fuzzy, and I just love it. So it's really fun and really cute. And I have a stitch marker on this that I am loving, and I'll tell you more about that here in a second. I have my favorite things, and this is one of them, but I love these stitch markers, and I'll tell you more about those. But that is what I'm doing with this. And I started this, I think I got to row 7 last night, and then now I'm on row, I think 16 or 17. I'm actually doing it from my iPad. I didn't print the pattern. I'm trying to do all sorts of things. So I'm trying to do it from my iPad, and I'm also, which is new because usually I have a printed pattern, and I'm doing a chart as the pattern instead of written instructions, which is also new. So I'm trying all sorts of new techniques in this, but I am loving it. And it's actually fun to knit. And before you know it, you're at the end of the row and you're like, oh, cool. And then so you get to do another row. And it's only 40 stitches round. So it's not that bad. And I'm hoping that I do it justice, and then I'm hoping that I can duplicate it. And, if I'm following the pattern, I should be able to do that. So I'm almost to the end of this. This is the cuff, and then I'll start the actual glove part. And if you notice the gloves, and it looks like a lot of the Norwegian gloves all are pointed like that, which is kind of cool, I think. And I guess it's to accommodate how your fingers are kind of go to a point like that. So I don't know. And then it's also weird too, the thumb isn't on the side, it's on the inside. So like when you put your hand in, it'll be more like this. No, I mean, it's yarn, so I'm sure I can stretch it, but my natural position for my hand is my thumb is a little forward, but it's not like this. So I don't know. I don't know if they have to be and wearable, since this is what they wear in the really cold Nordic tundra. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, and here's a picture of it with really pretty, very pretty. And so I went on to, what did I go to? I just ordered a bunch of wool this morning. Let me go to my, knit picks. So knitpicks.com, and I ordered a ton of wool yarn. They have this yarn. Let me see if my order has been received. Does it tell me? Or if you type in wool, it was, and they're in small 50-gram balls of yarn, and I think it's Arctic wool or something like that, and it was like $2.49 per skein. But again, they're the small skeins, but it's 100% wool, and I'm kind of excited about it. And they had like 56 colors, and the reviews on it were fabulous. So I ended up buying too much, I'm sure, but lots of different colors that I can mix and match, knowing that I'm going to do more of this kind of look because I really enjoyed it. And heck, I can be like Oprah, you get mittens and you get mittens and you get slippers, because I think all of those will take about the same amount of yarn, and even the hats. So, you know, I can spread the wealth, and it's fun. I mean, I'm really having fun doing this. So I like the fact that it keeps you interested and keeps you changing it because it's different. And I even love the way that the sweaters that some people wear, you know, like they have the thing whatever right here, and it's like snowflake, 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 snow. I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous sweaters. And I remember being at a craft fair one time and looking at one of those sweaters, and I wanted it so badly, but I had no funds. And I think it was like $150 or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so expensive. I totally get it. I understand why it was that much, but I didn't have the money to spend. I don't even know that I would want to spend that today on a sweater. I mean, it's handmade and it's really cool, but I know me, and I know that I probably wouldn't wear it. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. So when I can do it myself, though, that's my point. I feel like, yeah, I may, you know, spend $50 on the yarn, and then I have to take the time to actually make the thing, but I'm not selling it. I'm keeping it or giving it to somebody that I love. So that is okay for me. So all of that just to say that. So that is my, yes, that is my last whip. I had another bag over there, but that is just my trash bag. I keep a bag over here, and then that one is full. Oh gosh, and I have my yarn tangled up in my phone cord. Let me just do that there. So, and I have it in this cute little bag. So that is my latest, and not greatest, but my latest project that I just cast on, and I am excited about that. I don't know what else I have in my queue of things to cast on, but it is getting long. That list is long for sure. So yes, I'm looking at my list to make sure I'm telling you everything. So that brings me to my favorites. So one of my favorites is definitely Ebates. I don't know if you guys have heard of Ebates or if it's offered internationally or not, but if you guys are in the States and you guys like to save money, I have my link posted below for Ebates. Click on that and use that, and you will get $10. And I get, I think, $10 too after you've made $25 worth of purchases or something like that. But it's pretty cool. So you're helping me out, but I'm helping you out because with this link you get $10. And what it is when you use your phone, you can go to Ebates, and it's an app. I'm trying to show you what it looks like. And it has, so it's just Ebates, and again, I will link it below, but it has a million stores, including Etsy, Michael's, Amazon, that if you, all you have to do is shop from these stores by first going to Ebates. You can do it from your computer. And if you're doing it on your computer, you can download a little bar that will link up. So like, let's say I go to Amazon on my laptop, I will get a little notice on the upper right-hand side that says, Ebates are available. I can click on that, and that's as easy as it is. I don't have, it doesn't change the price. I don't have to do anything special. I just have to go to the site using Ebates, and if they offer a percentage discount or whatever, and sometimes it will change the amount that they will offer. And like sometimes at Amazon, some things will give you cash back, other things won't. But anyway, Ebates 3 times a year or 4 times a year will send you a check, and you can pick how you want the check to come. And I just have it go directly into my PayPal account. And I am not kidding. I have made, and I can tell you how much I've made if I find it on here. So far this time I have made $38.19, but lifetime, I don't know if you can see that, probably not. $274.54. That's how much I have saved in using Ebates. So like when I go to Amazon, I might get 5% back, depending on what it is. Craftsy offers 5% on my purchases with Craftsy. You guys know how much I use Craftsy. I recently did like a $200 purchase. I got $10 back. I mean, it's crazy. And I don't do anything special. And if Craftsy is having discounts or whatever, you can use those too. That's not a problem. All you have to do is you go through Ebates first, and then Ebates will, and I don't know exactly how it works. Something like Ebates has relationships with all of these businesses, and the businesses will give them a kickback, I'm sure, from using their site or sending people to their site. And I'm sure that's part of it, that Ebates is hoping that you will use sites that offer the discount, so you'll get a discount too. But before I order anything online, I go through Ebates first just to see if they're even on there. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Either way, I'm still paying the same amount I would pay. Sometimes, though, I get a kickback. Can't beat that. I love it. So that link will be below. Ooh, this is getting cold. So I will put that there. I also do like to use Amazon a lot, and I will try to link all of the things that I purchased off of Amazon there so you guys can see. And Etsy is on there. Etsy, you get 1% off of Etsy. I mean, like my favorite stores are on there. Wherever I told you I ordered from earlier today, Nitpicks, I think they aren't on there, but lots of stores are, and and they add stores all the time. So even if I've looked before I make a purchase, every time I try to go to Etsy or to Ebates first just to see if it's on there. So speaking of Etsy, one of the things that I really like that I got from Etsy are these stitch markers. And I know that I did a haul video on these, but these are little cat stitch markers. And the little character doesn't matter, but it happens to be a cat, and I love cats. So that is a-okay in my book. But I love these stitch markers, and let me tell you why. They are big enough to fit over most needles. Of course, not a pen, but they're big enough to fit over most needles. And they're totally smooth on all the sides, so they're not getting caught up in my work. There's no hanging things that will get caught up. Because some of the really cute ones that you can get have little hanging things on them, and you have to kind of fish for them. And the time that I tend to use stitch markers quite a bit. I really like them. So the more easy they are to use, the better. This doesn't get caught up in anything. It's not going to cause a snag or an issue. The little ears are just cute. They don't do anything, but as far as I know. But yeah, they're great, and you can get them in a little set. I actually think it might tell you. Yes, I got these creatingwithsticks.etsy.com. That was very smart of her. But I will try to remember to link that below too. And this one came with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, probably 12 of these. I'm either using these on a project already, or I've lost one, and I do tend to lose these. The couch seems to eat them. So yeah, I highly recommend them. They are fabulous. And another stitch marker, these I got from Etsy, and no, I didn't, from Amazon. I really like these too. These are little balls of yarn, and they're on a little bigger loop. It's not an elastic loop. It's a it's fixed loop. But these are very, very nice because they're a little bigger and a little different. So if I'm, like for the stockings, for example, I will use one of these in the middle of the stocking, so I know that this is where the middle of the stocking is, and then I will use one of these when I get to the heel. I'll actually use 2 of these on the heel so I can mark where the end of both heels were. So I have one marker to be the center, so I know that that's where my round starts, because if you're knitting in a round, you kind of need to know where your round starts. So I use something different for that one, and then I use more simple ones for the other ones, and it works out fabulously. So I use these together a lot. And I just really like these. These were from Amazon. There were 6 of them. I think these are Haya brand, but I will again try to put a link below. And I am an Amazon, I don't know, like if you click on my link, I can get a little bit of money or whatever from you guys using my link, but I don't even, an associate, that's how it works. I don't really even know how that works because I've never gotten anything from Amazon, but I do see that money like accumulates. So I think I have like $11 or something in my account, my accumulated account, and they probably wait until you have a certain amount before they send you anything or whatever. So it's not a big deal, but it's kind of neat. And it takes you directly to whatever it is that I used. So you know that this is what I had, which I can appreciate. And to me, if I'm not paying anymore, but I can get it taken directly to the site, I'm all in. So just to be transparent, I do get a little kickback. And my favorite tea right now is this. It's Harney and Sons Fine Teas. Hot Cinnamon Sunset is the name of it. Oh my gosh, it smells fabulous. You can find this on Amazon. I did just place another order because this I did not get from Amazon. I got this when I was on vacation somewhere, and I just loved it. So then I had to look on Amazon to see if I could find it. But this one comes in these little like fancy bags. But I ordered some that are just regular tea bags, so you can get them both ways. And I have done thousands of teas, and I have more teas coming because, like I said, shopping, my job. I will be showing you some more teas too because I ordered some seasonal teas. But this one is fabulous for the fall. I love it. It's cinnamony. It's not like you're sucking on a Red Hot, but it's got that red hotty kind of a taste where it just tastes really good and refreshing and kind of warm, and it's really nice in my opinion for this time of year. So I highly recommend that. And the only reason I'm including a tea favorite in this is because, like I said, it seems like knitters really love their tea. So, or yarn people, fiber arts, I should say, really like their tea. So I like it too. So then my other favorite would be the podcast, the Skeindeer podcast. I would definitely go to YouTube, look up Skeindeer, and subscribe. She is awesome. Tell her that I sent you if you don't mind, if you do, just because I want her to kind of know me because that's kind of cool. You know, it's how we network and stuff. But she has a podcast and she has beautiful Nordic patterns. And she also has a couple of videos where she's gone to Norway and done videos. I think they're fabulous because it's so neat to see the country. And she showed a grocery store, like there's like a chip aisle, and then right next to the chip aisle, yeah, we're still here, Gina. I'm still chatting away. Right next to the chips, there are yarn and needles. I mean, it's like she said that in Norway, they sell yarn everywhere, but they have the most wonderful yarn stores too. And it makes me want to go so badly. I just want to squish that yarn and smell it, put it close to me. But it looks really cool. So, and I think that they use a lot of natural wool. I think that there's a lot of sheep there. I think that it's like a business, like exporting for them too. They have tons of sheep. Wouldn't that be cool? I think that's a dream. That'll be a dream, not a goal. That's a dream, to own a like sheep and then like do the whole thing, the whole spinning wheel, take the yarn off or the wool off the sheep, and then clean the wool and spin it into yarn and then use it on a final project. Oh, that would be a dream. So that would be really cool. And I could totally see me doing that because I love animals and I would totally have sheep. Why not? Okay, so goals. So my goals for, I guess I should say my goals for this week maybe are to get better at reading charts, which I am working on. I'm going to check that off because I am working on, I'm not checking it off as it's done, but I'm checking it off that I've talked about it. And that is really a goal that I could work on this week. Reading charts. I also need to get my gift giving, and I'm getting close to the end, just so you guys know. I'm getting my, I lost you on that dream. You cast on, just cast it on. Yay. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. So, yeah, I definitely have the castitis or cast-on-itis, as I've heard it called, where I want to make all the things. And I'm trying to decide who's knit-worthy and not. And I know that that sounds kind of snobbish, but you put a lot of time and energy and effort into these knitting projects, and you want to make sure the person likes it, will use it, will appreciate it, all those things. So I'm trying to make a list of who is knit worthy and what I feel like I could really get completed before Christmas this year. Oh, she sent me a picture. Yay. Thank you. I'll have to look. But I'm going to look now so that I can share it. Messenger. Oh, that's a beautiful color. Okay, so I'm sure she won't mind me sharing. This is Jess's Cast It On project. And look at her beautiful cat. Her cat's name is Shakespeare, and it's a Russian blue. And my gosh, that cat is gorgeous. I just want to squish it and kiss its face. Although I don't think he'd like that. But I would definitely have to kiss his little face. He's so sweet. I can't even look at the color. I'm looking at your cat. But that color is beautiful, Jess. It's like a teal. I think our fingernails are almost the same color too. But your hands are much prettier than mine. They're way daintier. And you got a heck of a cord on there. Wow. But we're going to need a big cord, aren't we? He wouldn't like it, but he is adorable. Yeah, that's the problem with cats. They can be jerks. It's part of their loving charm. And my problem is that's how I greet animals, is with kisses. I just love to kiss these animals. It's crazy. It's weird. But I can't help it. I just love animals. So, yeah. Your cat would probably hate me and I'd probably leave bloody, but I'd be happy. Oh, well. So I'm proud of you. That's super cute. Yeah, super long for the blanket. And you know what? I did order, because I didn't have what I wanted. So I ordered a longer cord so that I could use it for my blanket too. So I don't know what I'm talking about, and you don't have to knit it in the round. So that's not so bad, but you just have to do back and forth. So yeah, so there's that. Okay. So yay. Thanks for sharing that, Jess. I'm super proud of you and excited all at the same time. Are you doing your gauge right now? Is that what that is? And I don't know if you saw that, but Gina is asking what your name is on Facebook. I think it's Forensic Jess, but I'll let you answer that. I think it's the same thing it is here, but be sure to tell us. Okay, so that's another goal, is to figure out who I want to knit Christmas presents for, and then maybe what I realistically think I can knit for them. And I also have a Christmas garland that I got from Craftsy that I want to knit hopefully this week. I want to start that at least this week. And I want to finish Katie's stocking, maybe start mine. I want to still work on her sweater and maybe the slippers and, of course, the mittens. Oh, and I taught myself a new cast on. It's the old Norwegian cast on, which is something that you need to do for the Norwegian. Well, you don't need to, but it's a really, really nice, it almost feels like there's elastic in it, but I don't know what you call that, but it's like a really nice cast on. The long tail cast on gives you a little bit of play when you are using the long tail cast on, but this one even gives you more flexibility with the cast on, which is kind of nice to, fit over your hand, and then it will tighten up at your wrist because it's like this. It's like elasticy. So yeah, I did learn that. I need to still master that, but I did learn it, and I will teach it probably in another video after I've used it a couple more times, just to make sure that I've gotten it, because it's a lot like the regular long-tailed cast on, where you have to go over this and then over this, but there's a couple extra steps, and there's a thumb turn, which is a weirder thing. So, but I'm doing it. Things that I've learned how to make heels now for the stocking, so I'm excited about that. I've also learned what blocking is and how that is useful. And so some of you guys might have heard people talk about blocking, and yeah, Gina, I don't know if we're friends on Facebook either. And Gina said that she found you. And then Jess is asking if you're friends with me on Facebook. And if so, you're on my friends list. And I'm not sure if you are on my friends list or not on Facebook. I hardly ever get on Facebook anymore, guys. It's awful. But I will try just to make sure that you guys can connect. Yeah, I don't keep up with Facebook so well. Ooh. It's so hard with all the different things and all the things that I want to do. So I really try to do keep up with Instagram, and now I'm trying to keep up with Ravelry. And perfect, Gina. You got it figured out. You guys got this. So I'm not going to worry about that. So blocking, if you guys aren't familiar with that term or you don't know what it is, but it is just a way to, like, when you're knitting stuff, and probably the same with crochet, when you're doing yarn stuff, it kind of gets bunchy and kind of, I'll just show you with this. When you're doing it, this isn't a good example, but it kind of, it can get bunchy, and this is really chunky, thick yarn. But if you're using really small yarn, you can imagine that it kind of gets wrinkled like a shirt would or whatever. And so this is a kind of de-wrinkling is what it kind of is. And it like will spread it out. So you can block it on blocking pads with blocking stuff. And well, first you soak it. So you get it wet. And there is particular wool soak that you can use, or you can use shampoo. It's wool, it's yarn. Use what you want, but make it smell good, so it'll smell all nice. And then you put it, like you dry it as much as you can. And I will do a video to demonstrate this. I haven't even gotten my blockers yet, though I've ordered them, of course. And then you put, but I think I did it today. You can like put these down so that it can block it and it can open it up. So if like you're doing a lace pattern or something like that, it will dry open so that it will be way prettier than the old wrinkly mess that you might have. So blocking seems to be very important. So I'm kind of excited about that. I just learned what that is. And I did order a couple sample sizes of some soak that's supposed to smell really good. So I have that. And after I do that shawl with the lace pattern, I'm definitely going to block that. I don't know. You probably don't have to block everything, but I think that like if I was giving it as a gift, I would probably block mittens. I would probably block slippers. I don't know that I would block a hat, but just to make it look crisp and clean and nice. So that's cool. So I learned that. And another goal is I'm trying to learn the flicking technique, and I've kind of learned it, but when you're knitting, instead of picking it up and moving it over the needle and like removing your hand each time from the needle, fast knitters and really good knitters, even English knitters, which is what I am, there's continental and there's English, and continental knitters hold the working yarn in their left hand, but English knitters hold it in their right hand. So I am an English knitter where I hold it in my right hand. Although I might like to learn continental, but that's a whole nother story. But and you can kind of flick it over the needle. Instead of taking your whole hand off the needle, you leave the majority of your hand on the needle, and you just use your finger to flick it over, and it's so much faster. So I haven't gotten speed yet. I'm still working on the whole flicking thing. And now with the 2-color things, all of that is going through my head. So my head is exploding right now, but I am loving it. So that is all of that. So another goal that I have is just to keep this podcast up and to try to go live once a week. I don't know what time. I'm kind of thinking Thursdays will work for me mostly. Of course, today's Friday. And I happen to be off today because my brother was in a car accident. And so I took today off so that I could go visit him. And he was getting some tests done, but that's my plan for later this afternoon. I'm going to go visit my brother in the hospital. He's fine. But he apparently blacked out while he was driving, which is obviously not good. And he has a work van, and it was the work van, and he crashed into another car. And he doesn't know what happened. And they can't seem to figure out what happened. They don't know what happened. Like they've ruled out a heart attack. They've ruled out a seizure. So we don't know what caused him to black out. This is the first time that's ever happened. I'm not sure. He's 49. He'll be 50 in December. He's my way older brother because I'm only 29. I was born 2 years behind him. So that makes perfect sense, right? So, yeah, he's he's a little more than 2 years older than me, but he's going to be 50, so much older than me. And so, I mean, he's young, and I mean, and he's healthy. He's this big. He's 6'5". So I've always been the one that's overweight or just under tall is how I like to say it. He's, he might have a little bit of a belly now, but he's always been super thin, and he takes pretty good care of himself. And could just be stress. I don't know. But he's fine. They kept him for 24 hours, so he's still in the hospital. They haven't told him when he's going to be able to go home yet. So I'm going to go visit him, I think, at the hospital, but maybe even at his house. I don't know. He lives about an hour away from me. So either way, that's the whole reason I took today off, because I wanted to be able to go see him when he is ready. And he hasn't texted me, but I have my phone here in case he does. But he hasn't yet. He was going to let me know when there was an update and when he thought that he would like a visitor. He's married and he has kids that are 2 and 4 years younger than my son. So they are 16 and 14. So, I mean, everybody's okay, and he didn't hurt anyone, and, you know, he's all right. It's just very weird how this happened. And so that's that. That's the reason I'm off today. So anyway, long story to say, I won't be able to vlog, to do live podcasts during the day usually, but I do like having it live because it makes it instantaneous for you guys, and it's an instantaneous upload for me. I don't have to worry about all of that, and that takes a lot of time. So, and I kind of like the chat. So hopefully you guys like this too, and that's how I'm going to continue to do it, at least in my head. That's my goal. So those are my goals. And then I have some video ideas. I want to do a needle review, and I'd also like to do a video later on about some neat Christmas gifts that I think would be great for knitters. So that's coming. And if there are any other video ideas that you guys would like for me to do, let me know and I can add it to my list. But I do plan on doing this, like making a list every week to kind of go through and make sure that I've told you guys a little bit about what's going on, and we can catch up and just stay in touch. And then I'm going to show you my progress and everything, which will include the mood blanket. And I really hope that you guys join. And if I can figure out how to make a group on Ravelry, I think I'll just go ahead and do that and have a little group so that we can all join, whoever wants to join the KAL, and I'll just call it a KAL because it's a knit/crochet, and luckily they both sound like K. So we'll do the KAL along. Okay, and Gina is heading out, and I have enjoyed it too. And thank you, Anne. I'm glad that you like the chats because I like it too. So let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything I missed. I would treat the knit the same as you would to wash and blocking it. And Jess says that her grandmother never blocked. So it's probably a personal preference, but I can totally see the benefit. Yeah, the lace pattern. And that's where I'm really kind of thinking that I need the blocking stuff because of that shawl that I'm doing. And it just makes it look so much better. But then also when I was watching Skeindeer, she blocked and then didn't block some mittens. And you could totally see the difference on those. Although I'm sure it just lasts for a minute because as soon as you put it on and wear it, it's going to mess up. But if I'm giving it as a gift, I think I would appreciate it, you know, just the blocking it. I think that would be pretty as a gift, just with a piece of ribbon tied around it and a little tag. There you go. You don't even have to wrap them because they're so pretty just like that. At least that's my thinking. So all of that to say thank you so much for joining. I am going to let you guys go. My throat is kind of hurting. I need to make some more tea. This one kind of got cold and it's gone. Pretty much gone anyway. I think I have a drink left. And I've got some knitting to do. So until next week, I hope that you guys have a wonderful time. And hopefully before next week, I will have the KAL. Check out Ebates. Check out the links below. And if you'd like to join anything, I would love to have you. So I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.